What's up, guys? I'm Derek here. I'm back for another Dish Soap VOD review of set 10. This game, and look, this is my first time doing, well, not the first time, but one of my first times doing this before. I actually watched this game ahead of time, and now I'm going to go into the VOD review, so I'm a little bit more informed. I can talk through more of like Dish Soap's decisions and stuff like that. Hopefully that's cool. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about like, because like there's the way I usually do it where I just kind of like react to what's going on, like talk about what I think makes sense in the moment. And then this allows me to, first of all, just like listen to his thoughts while he's playing, so I can get more of that stuff. And also I can like talk through the decisions more coherently because I've seen them all already, so I'm not like spending time trying to figure out what's actually going on. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this VOD review. I guess we'll see. Disho really likes playing around this Superfan opener. You'll see here he ends up putting in Kennen plus the Gnar. He loves Superfan early, and he's potentially looking at this Vi as like a Mosher in here, because you could play the Vi here as your level up and just play it on this board and play for Mosher with Gnar. He opts to actually pre-level here, which actually gets punished kind of hilariously by the fact that he gets shopping spree. But he just wants to pre-level here for a better Chosen. He does not think the Vi is good enough, and yeah, Vi like kind of underwhelming Chosen, so I think pretty reasonable here to not go for that. And then both of these augments, not really great, especially with the pre-level. Hologram, pretty solid augment, and yeah, it's just the only one that really makes sense in this spot. And he's kind of forced to buy this Annie here because you don't really want to be stuck, especially with Hologram in the early game without a Chosen, so we're just going to buy Annie, and it's fine. The board's not like amazing right now. He really wants to hold on to this Echo because it's quite likely that we're going to play around some kind of Spellweaver opener here. He's also just fits really well in with these units, like incredibly well actually, with like True Damage and Sentinel. So like you really kind of need him on level up. So we're gonna hold on to the Echo here. The other option we should talk about here is item slams. The only item that you can slam in this spot is Gnasher's Tooth. None of the other items really make any sense whatsoever. Gnasher's Tooth, a pretty solid item, but I think Bishop was talking about in one of his earlier games how he really values Belt as just a component. I feel like Sunfire is really good, Guardbreaker is really good, Warmog's is quite solid. Like I feel like every single thing that you can build out of the Giant Spell is really strong. So he's gonna opt to not actually look to slam Gnashers here because it kills Sunfire, or it kills the Belt component, which is really strong, and it also, like, Bow is a pretty solid component as well. It can be Gwinsu, which is really good at the meta, as we've talked about in some previous VODs on, like, someone like a Sona. It can be, you know, Static Shiv, a lot of good stuff here. There's actually another really awkward spot here where he does not want to sell the Echo, so once again, like, we've spent so much gold holding onto this Echo because we're not going to make Econ this round either. We're going to end up actually pre-leveling here, which also feels a little bit bad because you don't actually, your Chosen is not coming in the next shop. Pre-leveling here actually feels quite good if you pick up a really early Chosen. It's if you pick it up on 1-3, I believe. Yeah, because then your next shop, your 2-5 shop, is going to be Chosen, because if you have a Chosen unit in, your 4th shop always gives you another Chosen unit that you can buy. Headliner unit for, I know someone was yapping about me saying Headliner versus Chosen. Opts to go for this chain plus rod here, which is really nice. It allows for Gwinsu plus Sunfire Slam, two really strong slams in the meta here. But yeah, like I was talking about, it actually doesn't feel amazing here to do this because you don't actually have the option of, or not really option, but you don't have the benefit of getting the level 5 Chosen at 2-5. But that's fine. We're gonna get another level 5 Chosen, or we're gonna get our level 5 Chosen shop next round anyway, so completely fine. Just not like perfectly ideal. We're on 2 times speed, right? Yeah, we are. It just feels like, it actually feels long. It feels sort of faster when you have the audio on. When you have just like music in the background, it's much lower. Now this is a huge hit for Dishop. He hits true damage Chosen Senna, which I feel like this is like the reason that I want to make this game, because, or to VOD this game, because this Chosen unit is one of the most insane Chosen units in the early game. I feel like this level 5 board might be like the strongest level 5 board in the game. Maybe there's other stuff out there that's like, you know, slightly stronger or something, but this level 5 board, 4 true damage, 3 superfan, 2 sentinel, fits together so perfectly well with the Kennen and the Echo here fitting in super well with like the Lilia and getting this stuff in. Like it's just a work of art. And so like this board, I think, just does insane work for Dish Soap this game. He's obviously already on a 4 streak, ends up picking up a Nico here, which fits in well over the Gnar, as long as we don't hit a Gnar too, because this can allow us to play more towards Guardian. It can allow us to play more towards, or it already allows us to get Guardian in with the Cannon, which is like, this is the addition to the board that makes it even slightly stronger like this, and then KDA or Rapid Fire, or even Force Superfan on level up. Any of those variants can be really, really nice here. He ends up getting another Shojin, which, you know, synergizes really well with this setup already. We're going to have a ton of attack speed onto this Senna, and getting her casting is exactly what we need to make use of her chosen ability, which does this huge huge bonk 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 with her ability, as you see when she casts on a unit. So like, it's this board is actually so gross, and just 94 HP. You see Dish Up already streaking. Like he, and some people in his Twitch chat even said like you can just go 9 from this spot. Recon Bob and Silver Ticket are just untakeable here. Healing Orbs is pretty decent. Late game specials have been nerfed quite hard, where it's only 30 gold now. So I do think Healing Orbs is probably higher value than it, especially when we're on a win streak position, even though we're kind of guaranteed to be able to go 9. But yeah, you can level here. The options to get in here are Rapid Fire or Force Superfan or KDA here. He thinks a while about what he wants to play here and then opts to go for Force Superfan. I think that makes a lot of sense. With triple item Senna 2, I feel like it actually just makes so much sense to just play even more into the Senna. And KDA is definitely not bad. It's just less buff for the Senna. So I think this makes perfect sense. And then KDA can be potentially like our level 7 once we make it there. But I mean, as you can see, absolutely just cruising. The main question is, what are we going to play late game? And because we're in set 10, the answer is just kind of whatever we hit. You'll see this is a really, I can't wait for you guys to see the late game in this game. This was a beautifully played late game from Dish Soap, but like, there's I don't know, like in set 10, it really is just whatever you hit in, like you can. So the nice thing as well is that because he slammed Shojin Gwinsu, like these items are so flexible. You can put these on an AD carry, you can put these on an AP carry, like you can. These items are just so strong. Like he was actually talking earlier about Shojin. I think you could see him going into Team Builder, which I didn't talk about at all. But you know, he's like going into Team Builder and like showing every unit that carries Shojin, and it's like 80% of the damage dealers this set can carry Shojin. He's stuck between these two options here. He ends up going this option, which I thought was quite interesting. And he ends up building an item here that I've been sort of undervaluing, I think, which is this new like heart. Yes, what is it called? It's something heart. I always want to call it heart steel, but that's like the name of the trait. But yeah, it's this new item that builds out of what used to be Shroud, what used to be Night Harvester, and it's a really solid tank item. It's something that I think I've undervalued a bit when I have like a glove, especially in a spot like this where I don't really care to make anything out of this glove. So yeah, he makes this this heart item, and he is still win streaking 94 HP, just absolutely smurfing on the lobby. And like, he's just queuing up regular games against people, but Dish Up actually has very high PvE MMR, which I'm quite sure is a thing, because you very often, like, you know, I think the game before this, he had like Precedent in his lobby. You know, so in some of my lobbies, which I probably don't have as high PvE MMR as Dish Soap, but I still have pretty good MMR, I would say. Like, I end up, I've had Piva, the like Worlds, like a Worlds player. I've had multiple Worlds players, I believe, in my lobbies, just because PvE is a worldwide server, so anyone can play on it. So yeah, pretty cool. Ends up picking up Lux here for potentially maybe like a Dazzler later. I yesterday was really playing a ton around this like Lux plus Zac EDM plus Dazzler setup. So he definitely, I think, is open to that as well, though he doesn't really have anything to play for it yet. Ends up getting a Kane here, which is just another sort of like solid random unit to put on this board here. So yeah, he plays the Kane, and he does get another Shojin drop, which is an okay item on the Kane. It's not incredible, but it's not terrible here. So yeah, he gets the Kane here, and finally here we end up losing our streak. This actually, we get wrecked because we're positioning in a way that allows Lux to snipe our carry. He talks about how he like absolutely trolled this fight, because like actually if you position against the Lux, there's no reason you should lose this fight, but you know, sadly we aren't positioned for it, so we end up losing the fight. Little Buddies here is the pick. He already is pretty wealthy, and he also, like, his board is not that like high gold value, so Blank Slate doesn't really do much here. And Little Buddies, I think, is really strong. So if you guys haven't seen it, he's hovering it over here. For Blank Slate, you basically just want to play a lot of 4 costs and 5 costs, and then a few 1 and 2 costs. Bard is a really good one to add. You can get like Disco in with like stuff like Nami and Taric. You can get like Seraphine in if you're playing around KDA, if you're playing around Pentakill. You can get like Olaf in. You can get like Thomas Kenshin maybe at some point. If you're, I don't know, playing around country, if you have like a chosen country Thresh. But yeah, like there's actually so many one costs you can play. Yeah, I think he's talking more. Are these, he's talking through all the comps that you can play, I think, with Blank Slate here. Like Zed, he was talking about, is actually a really strong one, which is a unit that I've not really played around at all, actually, like Zed carry. I don't know. I haven't seen like anyone play it, but he seemed to think that that was like a board that exists. So interesting to hear Dishop's perspective, especially when this is the last. Oh, I'm blurry now. This is the last major patch before live. So like after this patch, we're really just going to have like ideally small updates, but like this should actually be relatively similar to what goes live. And like honestly, it seems pretty balanced so far. So I wouldn't be upset if, you know, this is about what goes live here. I was kind of dizzy as to what item you want to take here. He ends up just taking these items on Yorick, mostly just for the Yorick, I would say, so that he can play towards more 5 costs on his board, which, you know, is what you want to do. And this is also something that Dish Soap talks about here, or he's talked about in the past. He doesn't actually explicitly state it here, but I think this speaks to something that Dish Soap talked about in a tweet that he posted. If you guys haven't seen it, go to his Twitter and check it out. But when you have a chosen that is lower level than the chosens that you're going to see in your shop. So in this case, like he's level 8, he can see 4-cost chosens. It's very, very high value to roll here. So like he could probably go fast 9 on that board, but you saw there he rolled 3 or 4 times and he found a chosen Ari, which is way stronger on his board. Also, I don't know if I'm ever going to call them headliners. Chosen's just so much easier to say. I suggested calling them heads, but you know, that sounds terrible. But yeah, he finds this headliner Ari, and it spikes his board immensely, right? 2-star 4-cost versus 2-star 2-cost is like absolutely insanely different. So like this is, I think, something really important for this set. The other thing that's important, actually, as we will see later game, is what kind of chosen you're looking for. I think I just got kicked out of PB. Why would I get kicked out? Oh, no, that's weird. It looks like I just sounded, oh, that was the update sound on PvE. But yeah, like what kind of chosen you're looking for, what kind of headliner you're looking for in these shops, because the difference between like it's really it's a common concept in TFT. You look for what you lack on your board. So then, like, if you already have a bunch of frontline, you need more backline. It can relate to items, it can relate to augments, all that kind of stuff. This absolutely makes sense in this spot as well. Item-wise here, there's so many options that you can go for, actually. You know, like, I was thinking of maybe, like, a third Ari item here, like, maybe Guardbreaker or something, and then maybe, like, Guardbreaker Protectors, or even, like, Static Shiv, because we have no Shred on this board, right? So, yeah, I was thinking of, like, Static Shiv, Guardbreaker, maybe, finish our Ari items. Even though we have Superfan in now, we're not going to have it in later, and so, like, I wanted a last damage item here. He goes for something really, really interesting here, and I think just because he wanted to try it out, and it ends up doing very, very well. The main thing about making Static Shiv here is that you can't put it on the Ari right now, right? It's, like, a play for later kind of option, which I feel like I lean into a little bit too much. He opts for just a strong option right now, which is Titan's Hodge, and they both go onto the Yorick. We have Yorick pair here, so we can easily play around Yorick too. And this Yorick unit does very, very well with these type of like tanky carry type items. But I believe he said that he kind of just wanted to try it out. And I think, you know, it does quite well for him. In this game, like as you can see, this Yorick, even in this fight, you know, ends up summoning the big ghoul, does a bunch of damage here, like, yeah, 4k damage out of just the Yorick. The nice thing about his board is that he has multiple carries, because this is something that I was thinking about. Also, he opts to, he was supposed to play 4 Sentinel last round, and he accidentally, or no, I think it's this round, yeah, he's supposed to play 4 Sentinel. He ends up playing this random Senna here, which, like, it's fine, true damage, plus the, do we have a rapid fire unit on our board? I think we don't. We used to, but yeah, it's just true damage here. But 4 Sentinel is definitely stronger in this spot. The true damage isn't bad by any means. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh no, I lost the thread. Oh, he has a lot of extra carries on this board, which is actually really, really valuable, especially when you're playing around Ari. We saw in some of the in-houses yesterday, like I tried playing around Ari. I watched Kai play around Ari a bit. Ari, I think, feels very, very, very weak if she is your only carry. Ari can't kill a board of units by herself. What she can do is be a really, really solid, like, secondary carry, or even just support unit that can help, like, kill units that get low. But the nice thing here is we have the Yorick to get units low, we have the Kayn to get units low, so Ari can actually just sort of, like, finish off units and CC units with those extra casts, buy more time for the Kayn, buy more time for the Yorick. But yeah, like this Ari unit as a single carry, like I don't know, maybe that fight that we just watched there is perfectly emblematic of it. But like you could see Ari just like trying her best, just boom, throw hard, boom, throw hard, boom, throw hard, but she just can't get through all of these units. JG here is like probably the most reasonable option here. I guess there's also like Ionic Spark. It looks like he didn't really value Shred very high this game, which is kind of interesting. But he's pretty mixed damage, right? He's playing around a lot of different stuff, so like you don't really need it. And the really nice thing about hitting this Cannon shop here is it means that we don't actually have to roll here. It's possible that you could roll in this position just because your board, I think, is a little weak for the stage. But after hitting the Kane, like, we definitely don't need to roll here. Now, once again, talking about needing a secondary carry, like, look at this Kane on the back line, absolutely just killing everybody. And the Ahri can buy time by CCing the front line, and so, like, the Kane and the Ahri work together really well to actually kill the entire board, which is really, really nice. And then the Yorick is also just kind of, like, cherry on top, doing a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, like, at this point, he can just chill for a couple of rounds. I believe sell Ahri at, like, at 5-7 to look for a better carry. This is something that you see Dish Soap and a lot of strong players doing, is that, you know, like, they just end up open selling their Chosen on, like, 5-7 to look for, like, 5-cost Chosen. Like, you play 4-cost Chosen until 5-7, and then you look for 5-cost Chosen on 9, which makes a lot of sense. He does position for the Lux player here, and what a difference it makes. The Ahri ends up living the entire fight, which is a huge, huge win for Dish Soap because, you know, like, he lost that last fight. But yeah, we open sell the Ahri here. We're open selling a lot of the board, actually, and just starting to pivot into this 5-cost soup type board here. He even has the Kale in here for potentially the Pentakill here, which is actually pretty solid on this board. And yeah, like, he rolls a bit here, and, like, once again, this is what I talked about earlier in the game, right? Like, what is he gonna play late game? He's gonna play whatever he finds. He finds this this Pentakill Edgelord, why if I forget this unit's name every time? Viego. And he just opts to put this in. It's Edgelord with the Kale and it's Pentakill. It's like Pentakill Edgelord for Yorick, and we're also, and like for the Gnar, I guess, and like the Gnar fits really well with Mosher, and it's also Edgelord for the Kane, which is kind of nice. He does something really, really cool with items here, which I was not really thinking of, but he ends up actually spreading his tank items in a pretty interesting way. He ends up basically putting, like, tank item here, and then these items onto the Ziggs, and then I think Sunfire goes onto the Viego because he's going to be jumping, which I think is really, really smart. Once again, I think so much of this set is going to be playing for, like, good enough, like, playing for, oh, and he puts the IE there, actually, instead of on the Ziggs, so I don't know. I feel like IE Ziggs might do, Viego dealt more damage than Ziggs there, so maybe. I mean, Ziggs is just here for a Dazzler and to apply the ult, so yeah, maybe the IE is actually better there. I think that makes sense. But yeah, like, so much of this set, I think, is going to be about just, like, good enough board, right? Like, these tank items on Yorick and Kayn are actually, like, fine. They're probably not as optimal as, like, Giga late game, like, having our tank items on, like, Alawi and then getting items onto them later. But, like, one, we might not get to a point where we get 3 more completed items. We'd have to get to, like, end of this stage to get even 2 more completed items. And, like, so much of the set is just about tempo, playing strongest board. So, like, you put the declaw onto the Yorick. He obviously used it very well because he's like a...
Kaizo, though, because without Kaizo, I would not have known to get through.
Somebody rated Spicy Appies. Okay, sorry. I had a stream open in my background and Appies got rated. I was like, what the heck? I was like, who's talking to me? But yeah, like, so much of the set is just about playing strong enough board, strongest that you can play now. Play for the now. That's so much of what Dish Soap did this game. Not making the static shiv, making these items here. Like, those items might have been stronger later, but, like, right now, these were his strongest options the entire game, and he just played those every single round. And, like, you know, it's obviously doing very well for him. He's 41 HP, 77 gold. He can just go level 10 very, very soon, though the game might be over before that actually happens. He goes for just Lucian with Last Whisper here, which I think very solid just addition onto your board here. And he decides, okay, at this point, we're going to look for 5-cost Chosen here because we're 10. The chance of us seeing something like that is quite reasonable. He hits the Ziggs here, which he's not ecstatic about because it's he would actually prefer, he doesn't really want Dazzler Chosen because it's not like he's going to be able to play 4 Dazzler very easily. But at the end of the day, Ziggs 2 is a Ziggs 2. Once again, just that exact same refrain that I've been talking about infinite this video so far. It's just this spikes the board, and that's all you need to win the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really, really beautiful flex game played from Dish Soap. If you did like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my links to everything down below. Thank you. Bye.